Karen Gray, Superintendent of Lincoln County School District. Since 1990, the U.S. government has designated the month of May as Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, celebrating the achievements and contributions of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in the United States. The month of May was chosen to mark the arrival of the first Japanese immigrant to the United States on May 7, 1843, as well as the anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10, 1869. In honor of our own Asian American and Pacific Islander students and families, I wish to read from the National Endowment for the Humanities website a bit of history and use of the term Asian American. The term Asian American was coined in 1968 by student activists Emma Gee and Yuki Ichioka as a unifying political identity for different groups of people of Asian descent. With the Black Power movement, the American Indian movement, and anti-war movements expanding at that time, Gee and Ichioka strategically named their student organization the Asian American Political Alliance to increase the visibility of activists of Asian descent and consolidate their efforts. The term Asian American also pushed back against the usage of the Eurocentric term Oriental to refer to Asians in the United States, and it holds a clearly racist and colonialist connotation. Asian Americans claiming the words to describe themselves went hand in hand with being empowered to continue supporting the civil rights effort. During the 1960s, as African Americans continued to challenge institutional racism, Asian Americans came to reflect on their experiences, identifying how they also faced discrimination. Sharing the struggles to achieve ideals of freedom and equality for all, Asian American activists joined the civil rights movement. Asian Americans also became inspired to speak out on matters specific to their communities, such as issues facing business owners and residents of Chinatowns across the country, and also the Vietnam War. Speaking out as an Asian American community was unheard of before, as reflected by the lack of iconic representation. One prominent example is Yuri Kochiyama, who was influenced by Malcolm X's ideologies of self-determination and liberation, and who supported quality education for inner-city children, anti-Vietnam War protests, and the development of ethnic studies programs, which we have today in Oregon. In an interview on May 19, 1972 for the radio station KPFK in Los Angeles, Kochiyama stated that Malcolm stressed needing to know one's heritage and history to know which direction to go in, words that the Asian American community heeded. Asian American students in California challenged curricula in institutions of higher education because, as was argued, research and teaching had for too long propagated stereotypes about the AAPI education history and their culture. They joined the Third World Liberation Front strikes in 1968 in San Francisco State University and in 1969 at the University of California, Berkeley. A coalition including the Black Students Union and other students groups, the TWLF, demanded that the university establish new departments devoted to ethnic studies, hire more faculty of color, and enroll more students of color. At this time, the Asian American Political Alliance, or AAPA, was formed at the University of California, Berkeley campus, and branches soon sprung up on college campuses everywhere. Although the AAPA was disbanded in 1969, it played an integral and important role in encouraging Asian Americans to take political action together. An Asian American identity was thus claimed. On behalf of Lincoln County School District and our 180 students who identify as Asian and 83 students who identify as Pacific Islanders, we honor you this month and every month. We have a special thanks to our board member, Santila McKinley, who is originally from the island of Tonga. She naturally brings awareness of her culture and does all that she can to help the children of this country. And the necklace that I'm wearing today in my video was actually given to me by a board member, McKinley. It was owned by her mother and made by her mother. And I love it so much that I keep it in my car all the time. And I wear it at board meetings because I think it is so beautiful and empowering. I'm also a personal member of the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, which is a group of Americans fighting for the rights of Asian Americans and Chinese in the United States. So I hope you learned something and will celebrate with us. Bye for now.